Hey guys, Kate here. In this week's video, we're going to talk about establishing digital marketing goals. And so this is a really critical thing that every business needs to do, and I want to share a few ideas about how to do that. The first thing that I'd encourage you to do is understand your business goals. It always really frustrates me when people talk about their marketing in general, and specifically their digital marketing goals, and they don't first start with the business goals. And so it's really critical that before you start going down the path of your digital marketing goals, that you make sure that you understand the business goals. Everything within the context of a business and organization is supposed to be connected to the overall goals and objectives so that there's synergy and alignment there. And so as it relates to digital marketing goals, it's no different. You have to start by understanding what are our business goals and how our digital marketing goals going to serve to that end. That's the first thing. The second thing I would encourage you to consider is setting realistic expectations. This probably comes up more often than any other issue in the sales process when I'm working with a potential client. And that is they have completely unrealistic expectations based on their budget. Most of the time people have $1 million expectations and a $100,000 budget, and that's not really how life works in general, and it's certainly not how digital marketing works. And so when you set out to start establishing digital marketing goals, you have to have very clear and very realistic expectations. So that you're not setting yourself up for failure, your team up for failure, a partner, if you choose to work with a partner, up for failure. And so make sure you have realistic expectations. The third thing I would have you consider is, what is your budget approach going to be to establishing your digital marketing goals? We have another video that we'll share with more details about this, but basically there's kind of two approaches that I encourage people to consider. The first approach is, if you have a set budget, then just be transparent about that set budget. So let's say you have a budget and it's $100,000 a year for digital marketing. That's a really useful starting place. And you can kind of reverse engineer that number into, okay, we have a fixed budget. Here are our goals. What are we going to focus on with the budget that we have to accomplish these goals? And that's a really good approach to take with your budget. Other organizations approach it the second way, which is, we have really aggressive goals and we want to throw the entire kitchen sink at accomplishing those goals. And so you build your budget around the deliverables necessary to accomplish the business goals. Again, this requires you to be realistic. If you have a $100,000 budget, then you can't have a $1 million expectation. And so you have to make sure that your budget and the way you approach that align with your expectations and what you're ultimately trying to accomplish. The last thing I would encourage you to consider is start with a really good baseline report. Even if you've never done digital marketing in the past, even if you don't really know what you've done or not done, whatever the case may be for your organization, you have to start with a really good baseline report. This is critical so that as you implement a digital marketing strategy, you always can measure your results and your impact and your progress against where you started. And that's really the only way that you can identify, is your investment paying off? Is it progressing at a rate or a velocity that you want to? Is it having the effect on your business that you would like it to? You can't answer those questions if you don't start day one with a really good baseline report about where you're at today, so that as you move forward, you can always measure up against that. So as you think through your digital marketing goals, these are several things that I would encourage you to consider.